Adam,
So how are you today?
good. I'm good.
Excellent.
Every episode, I've got these ideas to how to improve our workflow to be able to explain what we do in more efficient way. Unfortunately, this video is going to be still in the, let's say, a bit longer version, but bear with us. At the end of the video, you will know exactly what we do. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
let
No,
me
I think that's the way to go. We try to say so much, and sometimes, because there's so much to it, to what we do, and it's natural. But let's get to it.
yeah. So today's topic is healthcare and clinics, right?
Yeah, I think this is a very important one, especially with the what we see when it comes to the competition among those providers, and there is so much knowledge a patient needs to acquire to reduce their level of anxiety. So this is actually one of those industries where I feel very deeply and care about to make sure that those experiences, even those micro experiences, are reducing the level of someone's fear rather than agitating them.
I know, like I think that everybody have like with when they're in contact with healthcare in general, whether it's public or private,
Mhm.
they have so many questions and anxieties, and usually the source of knowledge in the past it was Google, now it's ChatGPT and Gemini, and yeah, I mean it's all about reducing and answering these questions, and I think that yeah, you're spot on. There is a lot of questions to be answered in that industry.
Absolutely.
Let's maybe share with the viewers what we do in a nutshell.
So basically, the whole idea behind our process and the offering is to transform the existing traffic some a website is receiving, like being an e-commerce store, being a service business like a clinic, being an information software as a service business. So those businesses already following the best practices of SEO have created a lot of content in the past, which is very valuable. Unfortunately, the behavior of people online has changed. So what I like to say is that people no longer search, ask, and that's reflected in the data and research. So us, by creating those interactive elements onto the pages that transform passive readers into active, engaged prospects and customers, this is at the core of all we do when it comes to the framework, interactive elements creation, and follow-on marketing onto them. So we will have an example in the second, but yeah, that's what we do.
So what we do, we create interactive widgets that you can embed into your page, let's say inside of an article. That was a great source of organic traffic, the really long blog post content or any other pages that actually drive a lot of questions, search queries, and a lot of users land on this page trying to find an answer to their need. It's just a great opportunity to build a relationship with them by giving them a bit more personalized answer. And that's why we basically build interactive widgets that you can embed into your content, and it doesn't require you to make any changes to the website, only embed specific code, and these mini interactive elements are hosted on your domain, and these are things that we believe can challenge ChatGPT or Gemini, because you can validate the outcome of these mini interactive widgets that we built together to and enhance the value that is generated when users visit the blog post.
Yeah. And that will be especially important in this example today with clinics and healthcare, where the quality of information is paramount. So yeah, as you said, like one does not exclude the other. So for example, the interactive element we see on the right, which basically suggests the correct supplements for the pregnancy time, very important, and personal time and special time in everybody's lives. But whatever recommendation comes out from it, of course, it increases the engagement, sales. We produce a basket which is already populated with the recommended products. But if the customer wants to at the same time validate, oh, why do you want me to drink, I don't know, lemon balm and maybe peppermint, things like that? There is still, this validated content. The business we see on the screen has over 50 years of experience in this area, and they come with a real person, real team of people who have done it before. And that basically we translate the content they already have into something much more personalized to the visitor.
And we have to know that there are clusters of pages that are quite similar. And when you sum up the visitors coming and landing on pages like that, it's in case of, let's say, this client, we are talking about tens of thousands of eyeballs landing every page, every month on a page like this, trying to find an answer that is very important to them. Hey, I'm pregnant. I want to have the right supplements, the right teas. I want to, drink the right things to be healthy. So yeah, so that's just something that we offer, and it's part of the videos that we record for different industries. Is all about trying to build and propose different ideas for specific domains, for specific clients. So now I think that's the time to move on to the first brand, unless you have something to add to the previous slide.
Just the fact that, to reiterate what you said, is that we have a tried and tested framework to first analyze the website, analyze the organic traffic, extract those actual needs of the customers, and then present them with something that helps them. But yeah, let's see it in action.
And it's not required. This is a new industry, new service type. It's not related to SEO. It's not related to existing efforts of, let's say, CRO experts, SEO experts, email marketing experts, e-commerce managers. Basically, it's a standalone new service that doesn't require you to basically engage a web developer in the conversation and so on. So the pricing is also pretty attractive when it comes to the solutions that we try to propose. So I picked for today's call capio.se. So I didn't know that brand. I know that in every country in Europe there are different brands that, different networks of private institutions and hospitals. And this is a brand that I found in Sweden. So what I've done, I went to our internal app and pulled all the keywords. I mean, top 1,000 keywords. And I ran it. I checked the most interesting queries that they found. How does the content look like? And I found one specific page that has, I don't know, a couple of thousand, like maybe 10, 20,000 visitors a month. It's related to the blood pressure. People are looking for answers related to blood pressure, and it's normal in every country. There is a page that has a first position in Google and receives a ton of traffic still, and not everyone uses ChatGPT and Gemini. And I think that users expect a lot when landing on a page like this, or maybe they just want to first learn, but then usually there's anxiety behind in their head, like, oh, there's something going on. I have high, low, too low. There's someone near to me told me that they have increased blood pressure. What's going on? What it is? Like, I want to know. And I generated 6, based on all of the keywords that we've seen 2 slides ago. I've generated 6 different mini interactive widget ideas for capio.se. So first, had a lot of traffic related to BMI and weight guide. So this is a great way to build trust. So users can input specific information about them, and they can get some advice, they can get a report, something like that. And this is a great way to basically capture emails or build positive relationship. And on top of the existing content related to BMI in an article like this one, you can push users and give them more personalized answers that you could basically calculate your BMI. That's a straightforward answer, like what's my BMI and so on. What should I do about it? And then you can recommend, let's say, as a result, when users fill out, you can capture an email, get a report, send a report to them, or you can also send users to the right subpages of services that capio.se offers, so that they could read more about possible ways how capio.se could solve their problem based on information they entered. Another one is vaccination planner. So people have questions about when is the time right to vaccinate my kids, or a flu vaccination, and so on. Another one is capio infection symptom guide. And another one, important information, here in BMI, they have 100,000 monthly search volume available in total from all of the keywords landing on pages related to BMI and weight. Then in vaccination planner, we have 50,000. Not all of the users out of 50,000 land on a page, but if you would increase the engagement on the web page, that's something that also influences the positions and basically visibility in organic search. If the engagement of users on the page is superior to the competitors, it's possible to capture more out of all of this traffic. Then there is another one, infection symptom guide. So basically people have like, I've got inflammation, there is something going on, sore throat, eye infection, duration of symptoms. So people have a lot of questions. That's a tricky one, but at the end of it, I think that it's appropriate to contact capio doctor. So it's triage basically, like what's going on, and you can give them some kind of answers, but all of them have to be validated by a doctor. A capio mental well-being check. So there's a lot about keywords related to some symptoms, as you can see here in Swedish. I don't know Swedish, but answers series of non-diagnostic multiple choice questions like feelings, energy levels, sleep patterns, stress over a recent period. Even today, actually, I had a session with a doctor. She called me and she asked me questions related to how I feel, how stressed I am, what's my sleep pattern, and do they wake up in the night? And these are the questions that actually doctors ask. And this is also some kind of direction. You can directionally direct user to the right institution, to the right doctor type. People don't know. They are still at the first, let's say, level of engagement and questions, and they have anxiety because they feel that there's something going on and they would like to know some answers. And instead of reading a huge article, 60,000 people could be directed towards specific services or some kind of checklist so that they could like map out like how often does that happen, like I like out of 70 days a week I have like 4 times a week, and you can like print out a checklist like to check what's going on, and you can have it and hand it over to a doctor after a week of, let's say, measuring how you feel every day. That's something that I do with ChatGPT today. That's what ChatGPT recommended to me to measure some things. Then there is capio pain movement guide. So aches, guidance, professional help, like some kind of body parts like knee, foot, shoulder, and describe pain and basically try to answer that. And then there's again blood pressure insights. And this is the one that I picked because I found this article to have a lot of traffic, to be really, really long and not engaging, since we know that users have a very short span of attention days. Everybody watches video, everybody wants instant answers, everybody wants everything personalized because they have access to Gemini or ChatGPT. They don't have time to read articles. And the last one is capio blood pressure insights. And it's all about, this page that I found here. And to be honest, I thought about picking this one, but like at the end of the day, I picked a mental well-being check. And I went for like the most simple app possible. Imagine this very simple square being embedded here in the beginning of the article. So when you load it on mobile, you could see that there is some, let's say, interactive element in the page. And you can like click what's going on, how you feel, and then it recommends me specific, services that I could go and click and order to consult with a psychologist, psychotherapist, or psychiatrist to discuss my problems in capio.se domain. And that's it. I didn't go for anything more complicated. I think that sometimes we build AI assistants, we build photo recognition patterns, and we go for like very advanced apps. This time I decided to go for a very simple solution, which I think is very easy to embed in the page, and it's quite quick and easy, and user feel instantly that they have provided some kind of quiz answers or something like that. And at the end, you can also leave your phone number, and our experts will contact you, because that's also
really
an
like
option.
it. I really like it in the sense what you said, that sometimes we might be tempted to create solutions that are like, super complex and we use AI, the latest new shiny thing. But because that's, to be honest, where the technologists often go through, we as marketers, we want to, by being throughout our process and being always customer focused, like this research around what's already happening, what people are searching for, and then giving them the agency, like, okay, you are starting to engage with this content, making it personal, rather than scanning through it to check if anything is relevant for me here. It doesn't have to be super complex. It just basically create this interactive invitation of, okay, tell us more about yourself and we will show you at least the direction where to go. So I really, and as you said, there was like, a significant amount of traffic. A widget like this can be embedded on every blog post connected to it, and just be each blog post becomes the portal to engage with the prospect.
Yeah. And what's great about it, that can be the beginning of the journey, and with time, with more and more, let's say, unanswered needs of users, that there should be also an option like, did you find an answer? If you haven't, then we try to increase the amount of questions or nuances and maybe make it more advanced, and with time to try to answer more and more questions coming from the users with what kind of questions they come to the website. And that's it. Now let's jump into your brand.
Yeah, so as we will see, I've also went after the solution that basically reduces the anxiety and starts to engage the customer post-service. So I chose the Cleveland Eye Clinic, the US-based. It's a chain of clinics that specialize in optometry. So anything connected to eyes and improving your eyesight. If you go to the next slide, I've noticed that one of the main traffic drivers they're offering where they did, like, I'm not an expert, so like, some kind of the permanent eye fixing surgery. It's called LASIK. But the deeper I dove into, there was a lot of, questions and content. What does it look like? How will I feel? Is it permanent? What should I wait for? And, where is it? How long does it take? And as well as like, how does it relate to what are the solutions for this? So there's a lot of content. And to be honest, this clinic, if you go to the next slide, has, let's be honest, the website looks a bit dated. However, content is like, from my perspective, spot on. The internal linking is very well designed. The factual and really like, empathetic supporting content is there. So it's actually very nice to read. However, you need to go through this obstacle. Okay, I'm happy to read the whole article. So what we
It's
see on
the biggest obstacle.
yeah, often, and especially as like, the saying is that people have like the goldfish attention span online. So you see like, a block of text, you run away. However, I think like, especially with the level of healthcare and clinics, there is this set level of, anxiety. There is a set level of need that, okay, people are like, they are in some kind of distress. So for the majority of people, they will like, this is the spot on example that people ask, don't want to search. They are motivated. Okay, let me read this. That looks informative. However, if they don't find the answer in the right blog post, their frustration and like, feeling lost also is elevated. But if there is a prominent place similar to the app you've created that will guide them, okay, tell us a bit more about your symptoms, and we will not provide you with the answers for the legal frameworks and for the, but at least give you guidance. Okay, this sounds serious or doesn't sound serious. Speak to someone or let's observe it for a couple of days. And those are already reduce the level of anxiety. So throughout our framework, like there were plenty of ideas how to make the experience on this website more engaging. Here I just put 3 on the page and decided to go with this post-cataract recovery timeline tracker. So to answer all of the questions of how will I feel, what does it look like, what's the recovery, how long does it take. One of the most important ones when you read like, the forums and the exchange of information online is, I feel some kind of distress. Is it normal? Should I be worried? Like the amount of traffic around this is just staggering. Another one, because it's a US-based provider, of course, the health insurance, the different levels and types, what's covered, what's not. That could also be another valuable option. Like, just tell us what insurance you have and we'll tell you what contacts, what we can offer. And at what level, because sometimes like, people can pay extra out of pocket and majority being covered. And then contact lens comfort advisor, people who don't want to do the surgery, there is a whole section in Cleveland Clinic to help them out with the choice of contact lens and how to adjust them to their condition and their need. Sometimes if someone is like, doing a lot of sports or someone doesn't, someone is working in front of a computer all day and someone doesn't. So, and how to do the hygiene. But if we move to the next slide and see the demo, it might, so the link at the back, at the bottom, it is, I wanted to stay with a very familiar pattern that people, this app is directed to the people who are either right after the surgery, so they can fill it in with the doctor together, or maybe they are planning, like, what my recovery will look like. They choose different, like, when their surgery took place, what procedure type, are they driving, are they wearing makeup, because that all can affect their experience after the surgery. And if basically you can generate your recovery plan, so it tells you, like, roughly, of course, there is this disclaimer, this is not a medical advice. At the bottom you'll see, if anything still feels out of, like, ordinary or uncomfortable, contact your doctor. However, there's a lot of, this anxiety as well as pressure on receptionists, on post procedure services, where patients contact doctors, ask, like, oh, is it normal? I feel itching, like, I've got some floaters on my eye. Is it normal for now? And then we can tell them, like, look, on average, you can experience symptom up to 7 days after. If it's longer than 7 days, let's look into it. And because we know when the procedure took place, it can literally be very personalized. For example, today's 17th of October. Let's say I have a procedure today. So if by the 23rd I still feel like a dry eye, then go to your doctor. On the 20th, if on Monday I still feel a bit of itching, like, this application goes like, you are still healing, this is still normal. So we can even, like, put it onto someone's calendar when they can start driving at daytime, when they can start driving at nighttime, activities and restriction to avoid by when. So you get the whole journey ahead of you, so you avoid any surprises. So of course, like, if there is, you can still, like, contact your doctor, but just by knowing that what you're experiencing is within the average range, that will not only reduce the anxiety of the patient, but also reduce the pressure on the clinic. And I believe this is how the business can show they actually care about the customer, their patient even more, and try to, implement as much as this, like, comforting experiences onto the whole process. And yeah, like, as you mentioned, it doesn't have to be super AI, the latest big thing. It's literally like
It can be
focusing on
just
an
a form.
experience. This is what you will experience. If anything is out of ordinary, please speak to us, but that's the road ahead of you. So this is something, like, in theory, should be discussed, like, when you are FaceTime with the doctor, like, what it's going to look like, what are my options, stuff like this. However, often you see, and that's confirmed online via different, like, feedback from actual patients. They go like, my anxiety was so high, I don't hardly remember the conversation. Like, oh my God, they're
Yeah.
gonna do a procedure on my eyes.
And also, nobody remembers what was said. Like, please avoid that. Please don't do that. No, you have to have it printed. You have to, you know,
Hmm.
attach it to your fridge or to
Yeah.
wherever, you have your calendar and you have the plan of your day. Basically, everybody in the family, reads that. You can see that, and
Hmm.
and you can print it out, adjust it to you, and that's awesome. I think that, or even at doctors or like the people inside of the company, they could use this app. Oh,
Hmm.
we have this app. We've printed that for you. If something happens, you can visit that page, and in this page you click here and click, and if some symptoms happen, you can like click it off and then generate a new plan, and you will see that, for example, you have to avoid that or that, and you shouldn't do that. So that it's okay. It's okay. We've
Yeah.
validated that. That's validated by our doctors. It's not ChatGPT saying something that it's okay or not okay, because that's just probabilistic and it can hallucinate. And this app, it has been created by AI, but the difference is that it has to be validated by humans, by doctors, or by someone. Basically, based on the content of your page, it could be validated by your content, so that you could see that there are no discrepancies between what
Yeah,
you
if there's
recommend
a
in the blog
recommendation, you
posts.
can link it to the blog post. Okay, this is what, like, if there is
Or you can read the whole article here.
yeah, about, like, when should I worry about, let's say, what was it, like, the floaters, when, or like, why can I drive after a procedure like this? I can drive in daytime pretty much within a week. However, for nighttime I should wait longer. And you can literally internally link a blog post, because there is one on that page, like, oh, what's the difference? Why, like, and that educates the patient if they are interested. Okay, why is that? because the way my eye is like a human eye is constructed, like, at nighttime we see slightly differently, and that thing is, I'm not a doctor obviously, but like, that's affected by this procedure a bit slightly more, so it's better to wait a bit more, and then you're fine. Like literally you had you saw a recommendation, had a follow-up question, it was directing you to the answer, as you said, validated content from the provider you already trust.
And this is just one cluster of, let's say,
Yeah.
keywords that represent specific need or intent, where
Mhm.
users landed on a page, they found some answers in FAQ, in a blog post, but we believe that this is the future. This is something way better, way more personalized, way more engaging. At the
Mhm.
same time, at least 3-5 more apps could be deployed, and especially when you have a large number of visitors landing and with that specific question on your page, it makes sense to
Yeah.
funnel them into specific experience like this. And the result could be leads, new bookings, calls to the clinics, and also downloaded PDFs or a required email to download the PDF so that you could know that it's working and actually that your brand benefits from having that kind of an app. All right,
Absolutely.
I think that's it. Uh, are there more? This is just one, right?
That's
That you
the one
created.
I've created, but I think, as you said, there is the potential for healthcare and clinic is very wide, and the more, like, I looked into the keywords and the clusters of keywords. I just shown, like, three. What did I? Yeah, three ideas for apps, but there's so much more. And I also think that in this industry, of course, like, we go patient first, so their anxiety needs to be lowered. Let's say compliance with the plan should be maximized. But, like, there's in any business, in the end of the day, like, part of moving the operations, streamlining the operations, maximizing the revenues, is reducing the cost. So when we speak to any, like, business which is in that domain, one of the things we hear is that, like, okay, how much does it cost time-wise, source-wise, for you to service the patients after the procedure? So
It's
sometimes, like, the registrar will call you, do you have any question? You have a question, or you don't remember if you have a question, so you call them back in half an hour, and it can quickly, and now, like, extrapolated by 10,000
yeah.
patients.
It's all these mini, interactive widgets. The goal
Yeah.
of them is to basically provide service, self-served service, without engaging a human and resources of the brand to answer some of the anxieties and so on and questions. So that's absolutely a saving for sure for that.
It's a huge saving, and I think we will see more and more of this. And I would love to see, to be honest, more and more of this, because one of the objection we hear is that, oh, remember, make sure it's not a medical advice. Everybody, like, we put, of course, the disclaimers, the
It
lawyers
has to be
will have
there.
their dues, but I still, like, at the same time, those patients do know. They are not looking for a medical advice. They want reassurance, in the sense, are other experiences as well? Like, is it normal?
Even out of 10,000 people, if they go through that app, maybe 50% will still require and would like to call the clinic or get in touch with a doctor to schedule another meeting
Yeah.
or whatever, and take time. Maybe not, that is not covered and paid, but maybe the other 50% will be assured, and they will see that it's normal, it's part of the plan, it's
Yeah.
part of the recovery, and they will not reach out, and they will
And,
not
like, even
take up resources of the company.
the personalization, in the sense of, oh, like, there is a blog post, for example, about, like, I feel like, itchy eye, is it normal? And you see on your plan that, yeah, up to 7 days it is, and there's a link to the content. So, as you remember, it goes hand in hand with what's already there. And there's a blog post written by a doctor, maybe even my doctor, like, that, okay, this is why 7 days is normal, because of the healing pace, because of blah blah blah. But it's written by someone you know. So, as you mentioned, it's not ChatGPT. It's not, like, the AI blog, but it's, oh, this is someone, like, my doctor wrote this. So for a lot of patients, it might be like, okay, I'm reassured, because there is this, like, outside linking to the content already, but it is your guide to navigate you.
And it also saves time of doctors explaining
Yeah,
recovery plan.
yeah, yeah.
They just go and print and hand it to this person. here you have got everything. The doctor doesn't have to write it, doesn't have to explain it, or like maybe
Yeah.
the doctor has to explain it, but it has a plan, it has a I see so many benefits of like just this one solution that you just provided. But if let's imagine going one by one and like every type of let's go after the traffic, let's see what kind of questions people have. That's the focus, because we have to have enough people going through specific blog posts having specific problems so that we could funnel them to specific interactive widget that could answer their problems. All right, thanks a lot, Adam. It was a good one, another good one. So
Thank you,
see you in
Radon.
the next one. And if you watch the video and you're interested in building something similar or running an analysis for your brand, please reach out to us so that we could prepare something similar to you. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.